How many times has it happened with you guys that you guys felt hungry? You planned on ordering food to be delivered at your doorstep through one of the food delivery apps in India, which are primarily Zomato and Swiggy. You open up the app, check out the price list, check out the items. You see that there's a burger over there in the app priced at rupees 100. You end up buying that burger, and when the burger reaches at your doorstep, the final bill comes down to more than double the amount, more than double the initial amount of rupees 100, and you end up paying rupees 250 for the same burger. You end up burning your pocket to a great extent, and that is a very common scenario. That is a very common situation that is happening nowadays with the Indian consumers on the food delivery apps in India. You feel devastated that for a burger which was priced at rupees 100, you ended up paying 250 rupees for the same. You feel that these apps, these food delivery apps are making a lot of money, and these restaurants also are making a lot of money, because you must have seen that the restaurants, they actually price the commodities way more as compared to the actual prices that exist in their restaurants. You feel that these restaurants are making immense amount of money. These food delivery apps are making incredible amount of money. But ladies and gentlemen and students of business, let me tell you, this is not the case. If you are planning to start up a restaurant in the near future, if you're already running a restaurant, or if you are a student of business who is willing to gather some insights of how does this food delivery space work, and are these restaurants actually benefiting from this entire thing, this case study is for you. Do watch this business case study till the end to get incredible insights of how and what is actually happening in the food delivery space nowadays in India, and is it actually worth, and is it actually practical running up a restaurant nowadays in India. We'll check out this entire thing in today's business case study. But ladies and gentlemen, before we begin with the core part of the case study, let us first understand of why exactly are these restaurants partnering and relying so much on these food delivery space, on these food delivery apps, and how exactly do these food delivery apps, that is Zomato and Swiggy, make money through their business model. Well, in a place like Delhi, from where I belong to, there are over 3 lakh restaurants in Delhi itself. That means that restaurants need to market themselves, restaurants need to promote themselves in order to be visible, in order to attract customers. And that is exactly what these food delivery apps do. They basically help these restaurants to get discovered, so that customers can order from these restaurants, customer can know the brand, customers can visit these restaurants in the offline space. And that is one very simple thing that these food delivery apps do. They basically help the restaurants in getting discovery, in getting the brand reach to the potential customers. Secondly, these food delivery apps basically help the restaurants to deliver goods, to deliver the food items to the doorstep of the customers, which is not possible otherwise. Because if restaurants plan on maintaining their own fleet of delivery boys, they'll have to actually spend a lot of expenditure, and they'll have to maintain a separate department altogether for this thing. So food delivery space, food delivery apps basically solve this major problem of delivery for these restaurants. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, restaurants depend to an extent on these delivery apps for their delivery purpose as well as for the purpose of discovery. Also, ladies and gentlemen and the students of business, you must have seen that there is a new concept in the food delivery space that we have recently encountered in India, and that is basically the business model of cloud kitchen. For those of you who do not know what exactly is a cloud kitchen is a business model wherein a restaurant does not have an offline space. They basically rent out a small premise wherein they build their entire kitchen, and they only serve the online customers. They only serve the customers through the online mode and not through the offline mode. Why do businesses and why do restaurants opt for this model? Because this model costs less. The fixed cost associated with this model is incredibly low. But there is again a major problem that in order to deliver, in order to discover these cloud kitchens, in order to reach out these cloud kitchens, customers have to order from the food delivery space, from the food delivery apps. And that is why, again, ladies and gentlemen, these food delivery, these restaurants, these cloud kitchens depend 90% on these apps for their potential customers, for their orders. So these were 2 to 3 main reasons of why there is a very heavy dependence of restaurants on these online apps, on these online food delivery apps, and why these restaurants cannot actually function without these apps being in the entire space. Now let us understand, before proceeding to the main part of the case study, let us first understand that how actually do these apps make money. How does Zomato and Swiggy actually make money from this food delivery space in India? So the primary business model, the primary delivery model of Zomato and Swiggy in India is basically divided into four main segments. Number one, they basically charge these food delivery apps, that is Zomato and Swiggy. They basically charge a delivery fees from the customers that you must have seen in your own bills, that you end up paying around 50 rupees to 75 rupees depending upon your order value to these food delivery apps. This is the first revenue stream for these food delivery apps in India. Now the other three revenue streams for these apps come actually from the restaurants, wherein these food delivery apps charge a commission ranging from 20% to as high as 28% of the order value from the restaurants. It means that restaurants also have to pay a large chunk of their gross margins to these food delivery apps, which I mentioned is as high as 28%. It means that if the order is worth rupees 100, these restaurants will have to pay 28 rupees to Zomato and Swiggy to get their food delivered to the customer's doorstep. This was the second revenue stream that these food delivery apps have in India. Number third goes for the advertising revenue. In order to get discovered, in order to get limelight, in order to get more and more customers, in order to get more and more orders, you can actually advertise your restaurant on these food delivery apps. And you must have seen that a lot of food delivery apps actually have a small tag of ad that is there, that is shown on the labels on the left hand side top corner, which means that that restaurant has advertised itself, that restaurant has paid extra bucks, extra money to get more visibility, to get more discovery from the potential customers. And that is how the third revenue stream of these food delivery apps flow in India. Now the fourth one is basically the discounting part. Ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a very tricky part and we'll cover it in a separate video. These restaurants actually run major number of discounts on these food delivery apps, as we all know that, and these apps end up making money because of their trick algorithms. We'll cover this fourth pointer in a separate case study, as it has incredible math involved behind that. For now, just for a primary understanding, these food delivery apps in India have four primary models to make money. The first one is charging delivery fees from the customers, second one charging commissions from the restaurants, third one is the advertising revenue, and fourth one is the discounting. Now the question comes that is this entire model, is this entire industry of food delivery space actually creating any sort of value or any sort of benefit for the restaurants? When we order something that is worth rupees 100 and it ends up getting to as high as rupees 250, we feel that these restaurants and these delivery partners, these delivery apps are making ton loads of money. But actually, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the case. In fact, you will be amazed to know, you will be shocked to know that Zomato and Swiggy are actually killing the restaurants in India. They are actually killing the food delivery space in India. When a restaurant gets listed on a food delivery app, on a food delivery partner, on a food delivery program, the restaurant in the initial phase does not have to pay any sort of registration fees. But again, here is a catch. As I mentioned that for restaurants, these food players, these food delivery apps have three main revenue streams, and that is how, ladies and gentlemen, up to 55% of the gross margins of these restaurants, wherein 28% up to 28% goes to the up to 28% goes to the delivery partners for the delivery service. Then there is an additional cost of advertising, and then there is an additional cost of running discounts on the platform, due to which the restaurants end up losing 55% of the gross margins. Now, ladies and gentlemen, imagine this one thing, that there is an order worth rupees 100 for which we have already lost 55 rupees to these food delivery apps. Right now, you have 45 bucks left, for which you have to cover up your food cost, which in India on an average is around 30%. So it means that out of 45 rupees, 30 rupees have gone to the entire food to the entire food cost, to the entire food structure. Now you are left with 15 rupees to cover up all of your fixed cost, which includes your rent, your staff salaries, etc., etc. It means that these restaurants are actually facing incredible losses, and actually they cannot do anything about it, because in order to get orders, in order to get discovery, they have to depend on the food delivery apps. And on the other hand, they are losing a great part of their margins, which is as high as 55% to these major players, which are two of them in India, that is Zomato and Swiggy. Now here is another insight if you're planning to start off a restaurant, or if you're already owning a restaurant. In the recent times, we have seen that Zomato got listed and Swiggy is aiming to profitability. What does it mean? If one of them is a listed company, it means that they have to grow quarter to quarter. They have to prove incredible growth in their numbers in order for their stock price to go, in order for their investors to be happy and satisfied with the returns. It means that Zomato as well as Swiggy will have to focus incredibly on profitability as well as growth. Now, in order for them to focus on profitability and to generate positive cash flows, they'll obviously have to increase their margins, increase their revenue streams. It means that in the next few times, we can actually expect that the margins that these companies are charging from the restaurants will actually go up, and restaurants will end up losing shitload of money, which is even more as compared to today's times. In fact, customers will also end up paying even more to these food delivery apps, and we have actually seen this in the recent times, wherein Zomato and Swiggy both have introduced this new revenue stream, which we call as platform fees. If you place an order today at Zomato and Swiggy, you'll notice that in your entire bill there is a platform fees associated with it, which is around 2 to 3 rupees per order. It means that to make more money, these apps have started another revenue stream, wherein apart from the delivery fees, they are charging customers 2 to 3 bucks per order to cover up their entire cost of running the business. It means that if nowadays you order on Zomato or Swiggy, you will end up paying additional 2 rupees for your order. And again, as these companies are focusing on growth and profitability, this platform fees will also go up with every passing day. And this has actually happened on the occasion of New Year, on New Year's Eve. That is when on 31st December, these platforms, these food delivery apps were seeing incredible traffic, incredible number of orders. The platform fees got spiked up to 33% in India. Exactly. It means that customers are paying more, restaurants are paying more, and the entire industry is getting crushed under these two giants, that is Zomato and Swiggy. Now, after hearing all this, do you still feel that it is worthy enough to run a restaurant in India nowadays, especially if it is a cloud kitchen? Cloud kitchen has a very benefiting business model, because there are very few fixed costs associated to it. The cost of running a cloud kitchen is very less as compared to a traditional offline restaurant. But due to this incredible dependence on the online model, even cloud kitchens are not performing well in India. And as I have covered in one of my previous business case studies, that in India 90% of the restaurants fail in the first 5 years. And again, one of the primary reasons is because of the low margins and the margins that are being eaten up by these food delivery apps in India. Do comment, do let me know your analysis and your insights about this entire problem of food delivery apps in India. If you are running a restaurant, or if you are planning to run a restaurant, do comment down your analysis and your insights about this problem and let me know, so that we can help other entrepreneurs in India to run a restaurant successfully, to build a business successfully without relying much on these food delivery apps in India. This was Shaurya Kaushik signing off from today's video. This video was brought to you by the B School, your online business school. If you like the content, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell icon, so that you can get all the notifications regarding our business case studies, which have incredible value associated with it. This video was brought to you by the B School, your online business school. This was Shaurya Kaushik signing off from today's video. I'll see you guys in another case study very soon. Till then, stay tuned, take care, bye bye.